One of my favorite people, Coach Houston Nutt, joining us right now. Coach, man, how's your summer going?
Going good, Matt. Going good. Appreciate you having me on.
Oh man, absolutely. Yesterday. I texted Coach, and then we talked for a little bit, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I just got done watching Top Gun Maverick. You seen it?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I've seen that." Tom Cruise doing his own stunts, man. That dude is he's got a good running for him, you know.
Oh, hey, you know what's amazing is my daughter's husband, Haley's husband, Brent Phillips, met Tom Cruise down here when he was in Dallas at a restaurant, and just as good as he can be with giving his time and autographs, just good. So I really admire him for all the, like you and I talked about yesterday, all the things that he's done, the staying in shape and doing all those stunts by himself. Just blows my mind.
Yeah, dude is crazy in shape. Well, Coach, we won't keep you too long. I always enjoy chatting with you, and we got camp coming up. I mean, people are scratching and itching and foaming at the mouth now. Football camp's almost here, and you've been through a lot of camps, and each camp's a little bit different. And this Arkansas team, 31 new guys in the transfer portal, 19 new freshmen. I mean, that's a big turnover, but you do have your quarterback coming back. When you're going into camp with a team like that, what really are you trying to accomplish, I guess, on both sides of the ball to get you ready for week one?
Yeah. Well, I always love August. I love, especially when you've had a good winter workout, you've had good spring ball, good summer. And when you have your quarterback coming back, it's just like when you were coming back after a year under your belt, then you always sleep a little bit better, knowing that your point guard is coming back, your leader of your team. So I know Coach Pittman has got to feel good about Talon Green. But you mentioned something to me that's different than when I was coaching. I spoke to Rhett Lashley's team a couple years ago, and I asked him, how'd spring go? And he said, Coach, it went great, but I got about 29 new players, and about 17 of those are going to start. So now you're talking about taking some players that you feel like with evaluation, you feel like they're good. You see them on field, they got a couple years on their belt, but now you're talking about a new playbook, new terminology, new, the locker room. It's the locker room. The one thing that, Matt, we always had was we had a close-knit locker room, and I still believe to this day the closest team is going to win. And so, to me, that would be the thing that would be different, is taking those 31 new portals and making sure that, hey, we are together, we're going to play for one another, we're going to be unselfish, and then plug them into the right place, and let's go. But, again, I love August because you can get through your playbook. I love situations, where, hey, it's 3rd and 8, it's today's third down, or today's short yardage, or, hey, sudden change defense. Hey, sorry, buddy, but we just turned it over. You got to get back out here and put out the fire force. That kind of thing, I love that, and, of course, even overtime, working on that a little bit. So, to me, you're getting ready, and your players, especially the new ones, are getting used to everybody. And, of course, there's nothing like the game. But this preparation, you want to be an automatic pilot by the time that first game gets here. So you're just going through, and to me, I think the biggest job that Coach Pittman and the coaches have now is the newer players, plugging them in and putting them in the right position, and also it's the chemistry.
Yeah, you're right on situational football. I used to love when we'd be stretching and Bobby Allen would come up and he'd be like, "Hey, we're blitzing today. We're bringing the heat today." You're like, "All right, let's go, Coach." But that has to be tough when you're talking about this turnover and then learning a playbook. And do you almost have to?
Yes.
You want to go over all the plays, but you almost have to condense the playbook a little bit.
I think you're right. And again, depending on what they can take in. But you do want to be able to play fast, play without just thinking. You want to be on automatic pilot. I always call it automatic pilot when they know where you want your players to be able to play fast. And you don't want them thinking. And that slows everybody down. So, but it is. I think that's one of the biggest things. And I tell you, I know Bobby Allen would always say that during stretch out hearing, but also deep down inside, he also knew that Matt Jones ran 4.37, so be careful when you bring everybody. It might be the lane opening up. And that's one thing I think Talon Green brings to Arkansas is the escapability to have that. You got to feel good about that. I always felt good about that with you. But what people don't realize is you threw a lot of touchdown passes. And, you look at George Wilson, Richard Smith, you look at Jason Peters, the guys, Corey Birmingham, when they overpopulated the line of scrimmage and they had their ears pinned back, I always felt pretty good about that too, because it was one-on-one 50-50, and I felt good about the way you're going to put the ball away from the defender, and our receivers would go get it. So I like it. But it's the greatest game in the world, and this is the fun time.
Absolutely, it is. And one of the things you always preached, and this is one thing that it was kind of a team mantra, was the most precious thing in the world is the football. And I look at last year's Arkansas Razorback team, they averaged over 2 fumbles a game. That's too much. You can't be putting the ball on the ground that many times a game. How do you correct that? Or is it correctable?
Yeah, it is. It is. And you're right. That can't happen. And, we'd wake up in the morning. I know our guys would get tired of it. Danny did a good job at the backs, and we would wake up, from 2 days, from the moment we hit breakfast, you got that ball tucked away, and we would talk about it, and say it 1,000
forearm, eagle claw, rib cage.
Oh, we 3 points of pressure. You still got it, man. We're going to 3-point. You got to lock it down, and they got to know, look, if we're going to hand you the ball, if we're going to give you our most prized possession, well, this team thinks so much of you. You've got to protect it for us. You have to. And you got to be, I don't care what happens, that ball's got to be tossed to the official after each play. But because when we have the ball, hey, they can't score. It's that simple. And so take care of it. And that, to me, is the difference. And so, to me, it's just constant. I don't care if you're just getting on the field and just a pre-deal and a coach tosses you the ball. If that ball's not tucked away immediately, there's a point that's got to be made. That's not how we carry it. That ball's going to get knocked out in this league now. So every time, every period, anybody who touches the ball, whether it be a tight end, whether it be even a defender that picks up a scoop and score, they got to know 3 points of pressure too, because we don't want to turn it back over. And so to me, it's a little bitty thing. It may sound old cliche, it may get old, but I'm going to tell you something. We were going to, just all throughout the day, we're going to say it hundreds of thousands of times. It's eagle claw, forearm, and rib cage. We're going to protect the ball, or you can't get on the field. If you can't protect it, and you're going to cough it up, especially at a very, very inopportune time, you can't play. And so it's got to be very, very important. There's got to be thought process on that. When we hand you the ball, you got to take care of it. And that's where you were good, Matt. Quarterback is so important. Quarterback takes every single play. And I see it all throughout the year. I see people get real careless, especially in a drop-back position, a quarterback in a drop-back position, and he starts to try to extend the play, try to avoid, and the ball all of a sudden gets real one-handed, gets way out away from your body. In a crowd, it can't happen. You've got to be thinking about, I can't turn it over. I know I'm going to try to escape right here, but if there's any chance of somebody reaching in and defenses are so good. These coaches are so good now. They teach from day one. They go tomahawk that ball out, go knock it out. And you've got to be very aware of how you're putting that ball and putting it away.
Coach, I want to ask you about Arkansas State. They're going to come down to Little Rock. Might be the last time the Hogs play a game in Little Rock. I know the game's changed, and I get capitalistic nature. You got to make money. It's all about bottom line. We're probably not going to play a lot of games in Little Rock anymore. We never played Arkansas State. This might be the first time the Hogs had played Arkansas State this year. Talk a little bit about making sure you don't you have to respect them. If we go out there and have 5 turnovers, Arkansas State can beat you now. How important is that game? I know we're not looking past Alabama A&M. I know that's the first game, but that first game in Little Rock, Arkansas State, how important is that for the Hogs?
It is so important. All throughout my lifetime, you mentioned it, Arkansas State never played Arkansas, and Coach Broyles was a big believer in not playing that game. And he wanted one at every coffee shop, every restaurant. He wanted one mascot talked about. That was the Razorbacks. And so he felt like if you lost one of those games within a 10-year period, you're going to lose players and all that. That's another subject. But the bottom line, they are playing them. And here's the scenario. It's Arkansas State's Super Bowl, and it's got to be very important to Arkansas. It's got to be Arkansas Super Bowl, and we love coming to Little Rock. You know, I sometimes I hear a lot of people, well, we got to go to Little Rock. Well, I used to get real excited about going to Little Rock. Now, I'm partial because I'm from Little Rock, but I grew up watching Little Rock games when Razorbacks, and I can name all of my heroes, from John Brittenham to Freddie Marshall to Jim Lindsay to Kenny Hatfield and Lance Allworth. I can name them all. Cliff Powell. I can keep going. Harry Jones. But it's not like that anymore, and I think it's important, you know, when you play this game, you can bet. Arkansas State, all eyes, they have, this is what they've been wanting forever. I remember Larry Lassell wanting this game way back then. Why won't you play Arkansas State? The ball game needs to be played. Well, it's played now. So what are we going to do? You need to make sure that game, from the moment you walk out on the field, you come to the wrong place. It's got to be very, very serious, and you got to go at a very high level, because it is their Super Bowl, and it's got to be Arkansas' Super Bowl.
Coach, you got to take me back to your first ever head coaching gig and your first ever start. And I asked that for Dal Loggins, a guy that was in the quarterback room. And I'm a big fan of Dal Loggins. He's been coaching and stop to stop. Now he's a head coach at App State. His first game, August 29th. Kind of what do you think he's feeling, and what would be some kind of like some words of advice for him?
Yeah. Well, this is some of the greatest days of your life. You know, this is a dream that you always thought. I always thought, well, I probably won't ever be a head coach, you know. And all of a sudden, you are the head coach. I was fortunate because I had Murray State. I didn't have quite all the eyes on top of me, where you didn't have all that media. But I tell you what, it's a great place because I got a lot of Arkansas. I had Mike Cherry. I had William Hampton. I had Tim Scarborough, Ronnie Merritt. I had a lot of Arkansas kids, and I got to grow. So I think I'm going to go see Dal here in the next couple of weeks and see his team. And the thing that I know is here's what's different, Matt, and you know this. All of a sudden, you've been in that position, Coach. You've been the head coach of a position. All of a sudden, when you move down to that head spot, now there's a lot more questions every single day that he's answering. Now it's what kind of socks are we wearing today? What kind of uniform are we wearing? Hey, what are we eating? All of a sudden now, from the 10 questions you had at coaching the quarterbacks a day, now all of a sudden you got 1,500 questions from schedules, you know, to get, are we going to scrimmage today? Are we in shorts today? You know, all these things. So here's the thing. Dal has been around a lot of great programs, so from high school, college, and professional. And so he's ready. He's ready. But here's what's going through his mind. Did I cover that enough? Did I cover the punt protection enough? Did I cover goal line enough? Did I cover our 2-point play enough? You're starting to go through all these scenarios because you want your team, you want to please, and you want to make sure you got 11 guys out there in the right position that are going to go so hard. The one thing I know about Dal, he cares, and the players are going to know. Players don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so that's where it's going to start. And so I'm excited about his career and his start. And so to me, it goes back to the little things. It goes back to the little bitty things. Stance. Where we start. Hey, the ball. How we get lined up. And let's play hard. The one thing we can always do is you can play hard now. You can play hard. And that's the one thing we'd always pull from our people is you can't take a lazy step. I can live with anything that happens. By gosh, you better be going full speed, man. And to me, he'll bring that out of him. So he's got a lot of butterflies. There's no doubt about it. Well, you might need to call him now, man, about 10 days out, and just kind of get a little bit of reinforcement. Just make him. It's going to be okay, Coach.
BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your sports betting action. And with baseball in full swing and football season right around the corner, BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting. From MLB, UFC to tennis and NFL futures, BetOnline remains your choice for sports wagering information. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. Head to the website today and take advantage of their industry-leading VIP program with level-up bonuses and weekly cash boosts. Bet online. The game starts here.